Alright, so I got another NPC upgrade build for you guys today, and today we're looking at G6 Red's HERMIT AC. Now, after the last video, the King video, I really wanted to do a build that was pretty simple and straightforward, right? Because the King video was actually pretty hard to get something good out of it, right? Took a lot of testing and tweaking. So I wanted something simple again. And of course, Red's build is just that, simplicity. A handgun, 2 missile launchers, and a bazooka for direct hit damage. It doesn't get much simpler than that. And it also means it's a very easy build to upgrade, of course. Now, what are the main issues with this build? Why, frankly, there really isn't any main issues. It's like a lot of its parts are just kind of subpar, right? There's nothing that's really bad about it. Again, just some parts just aren't the best. So upgrades are pretty simple, right? Then we'll take the Coquelet handgun, upgrade that to the Viento, the overall, better stagger generator, right? We take this 1J, we upgrade that to Majestic. Better stats all around, right? Stuff like that. Very, very simple build to upgrade. And it's a pretty standard, pretty fun build to play, right? Spam the Viento, you spam the missiles, Majestic go boom, assault armor go boom, things go boom. Pretty simple, pretty fun. And it was a nice change of pace after the King build for sure, right? And yeah, that's really all there is to say about it. Let's go ahead and get into the details. Now, for the weapons, first we've got the Viento. I'm sure all of you who have seen my videos before are not surprised by this switch at all. Originally, Red has the Coquelet on, and I switched out for the Viento just because it's the overall better stagger generator, in my opinion. It's got better burst, it's got better range. It's just better, in my opinion, than all of the other handguns. And, it is what it is. Now, moving on, we've got the Majestic, switch from the original J, and this is just literally a stat upgrade in basically every way except for reload speed, right? But, more damage, more impact, better direct hit adjustment, less weight, less energy. It's just literally an upgrade in every stat except for reload. And I guess technically ammo cost if you care about that. But, yeah, the Majestic is just better in basically every way, in my opinion. So this was a no-brainer switch. Now, moving on, we've got the 6-cell forward-firing missile pods, and, I like these missiles quite a bit, and I actually considering upgrading this to the 10-cell just to have, extra, spam damage, but I decided against doing this because I'm already upgrading the split missile launcher to the bigger one, and I didn't want to add on too much extra weight. Now, it does only put us down to 313, but, for a build like this that wants to be really close range all the time, it's already a bit on the slow side, right? But I didn't want to slow the build down too much. Now, moving on to the split missile launcher, originally has this smaller one on, and I've switched it out for this bigger one in particular. Now, if you've seen my videos before about at least anything with split missile launchers, you'll know that I prefer these split missiles over this one for the sole reason that there's a delay in between firing the missiles, so it's easier to catch your opponents when you're doing a quick boost. It's just easier to catch your opponents, and they just hit a bit more consistently, right? And I think the extra consistency is enough to justify using them over the extra DPS and I guess extra impact that you get with these split missile launchers, right? Even at the cost of the extra weight and energy load. And yeah, that's all there is to say about the weapons. It's a pretty simple loadout overall. Spam the Viento, spam the missiles to get staggers, and hit them with the Majestic for the directed damage. Majestic is also just pretty good at neutral, especially at close range. It does have a pretty big hitbox, so even if they do quick boost in time, they can often catch your opponent just in the hitbox of the bazooka, right? And yeah, now let's go ahead and move on into the frame. Now, for the frame, there's only one small change that I made, and that is the Malander arms to the Malander C3. And the primary reason, of course, here is just for the extra, if I can press the right button, for the extra firearm specialization, right? Extra 35 firearm specialization, quite nice. Of course, we lose a big chunk of the defenses and whatnot, but we also shave off a bit of weight and energy load. And I would like to remove, I would say, I did consider switching out the Malander head and core for their C3 versions, but I ended up deciding not to do that because I feel like oftentimes in these builds that have Malander parts, that's typically what I do, and I kind of just want to use the standard Malander parts from time to time. I feel like, especially with these two, I always switch these to the C3. And, for the arms as well, but for, better reasons. So I just want to stick with the Malander parts for these one. And, it does give you, a little bit extra speed. It does put you up to 530 mobility, right? A little bit less defenses overall, but not a huge difference, right? So I just decided to stick with the standard Malander parts for the head and the core, and of course the legs. I couldn't change that if I wanted to because it was a little too heavy for the Malander C3 legs, right? And yeah, that's all there is to say about the frame. Let's move on into the internals. Now, for the booster, I ended up going with the NGI-001, of course, especially from its original P04. And this is just not a particularly good booster in most situations. It's certainly, like, not the worst booster in the game, right? But obviously, there are just way better ones. And I basically ended up kind of narrowing it down to either the Gills or the NGI-001. This is, mostly like a close to mid-range build. And, that leaves, like, basically the Alula, the Gills, or the, or I guess in this case, the NGI-001, right? And obviously, we're just simply too heavy for the Alula boosters, so it's really just down to the Gills or this. And I ended up opting to go for the NGI-001 because since, as I probably already saw, went for the Santai generator on this build, so we got a really big energy bar to sustain like the really high energy consumption of the quick boost with these boosters, right? Then we can use our really like strong, fast boost to be very aggressive to keep up with opponents. And that's kind of why I ended up going with this over the Gills, right? Because just don't have that speed that we get with the NGI-001, right? And given the build's kind of already a bit on the slow side, that's why I went with it. Now for the FCS, I switched his, I'm pretty sure it was the Abbott for the Talbot. And obviously the main considerations here are going to be like the P10 SLT or the P12 SML. And then the Talbot, right? Because obviously we're using 2 missiles on this build. One of them locks on very fast, but the other one doesn't have a particularly good lock on. So obviously the Abbott's got the Gojo by default. It's just not enough missile lock correction, right? And the Talbot is not the best missile lock correction, but we also retain good close and medium range assist. And like the medium range assist isn't like super necessary on this build, but sometimes it can be kind of nice for just kind of popping off like the Majestic and neutral, and some of those farther shots with the Viento. So I kind of end up preferring this over something like the P10 SLT, even with the longer lock-on time with the split missiles. Does feel kind of bad, and if it just feels too bad for you, just use the P10 SLT, right? If the lock-on just ends up feeling too long for you, right? So yeah, I was just stuck with Abbott for that reason. Now for the generator, I ended up going with the Santai again, primarily because using the NGI-001 kind of works together well with the Santai, and obviously the other choice here would be the Hokushi, which I'm gonna be honest, I've just been using the Hokushi so much recently, I just kind of didn't want to use it in this build. If I'm gonna be honest about it, that's kind of the main reasoning. This is such an incredibly good generator, but I feel like I've been using it too much recently. It's it's lightweight, energy load, and like kind of the only downside to it is it's not like the highest energy capacity, and it's got like a pretty big recharge delay, which Sentai has a smaller recharge delay, but it also has higher base recharge speed, right? So like in terms of like overall recharge, it's not really that huge of a difference. The big thing is you just have a much bigger bar at the Santai, and this combined with the NGI lets you be a bit more aggressive, or like way more aggressive with your quick boost in terms of just really sticking to your opponent, right? So I'd really like the NGI-001 and the Santai together, but like realistically, you should probably use the Hokushi on this build, right? And then maybe even a different booster to pair better with the Hokushi. Yeah, just want to get that approved. And obviously for Spanish, he doesn't have one on originally for some reason, apparently, despite being a an all mind route enemy, which is third playthrough at minimum. He's got no expansion despite being like the very end of the game basically. So I don't know why he doesn't have an expansion, but he's a red gun, aggressive build, go boom, assault armored. There you go. And yeah, that's all there is to say about the build. As I was knocked on by a drink. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the build or enjoyed the video. And before we get to the gameplay footage, a quick thank you to our members. As always, any amount of money is greatly appreciated. You do get a couple of perks for being a member, of course. You get your name here, as you see right now. If you do the $10 tier or higher, you can see videos at least a day early. And there's some other stuff, right? But anyways, just go ahead and get into the gameplay.
I'm picking up enemies behind you.
It's all going wrong, and that AC's to blame! I'm not gonna die like this. They're just drones. Lock them down.
Wait, there's something else. AC!
What's the nearest sensor? Wait, we found a Balaam straggler. Damn you, Archibald.
2 repair kits remaining.
Set. Gun 13. Gun 13. Good work, Gun 13. Always did work hard for me. Handled all my requests. And yet...
Watch out!
Gun 13, Raven. I can't trust you. Commander Michigan, everyone, they're dead. Because of you, Gun 13. You and that curse number!
He's suffering from severe combat stress. We won't be able to get through to him.
It was when you came to the Red Guns. We'll never be safe with number... Gun 13. The curse of the Red Guns.
Gun 6 red. Down. Let's get back to our mission, Raven.
Augmented human C4621. Raven. You are close to the rendezvous point.
We've arrived at All Might's coordinates. Enemy detected. Above!
B3 Peter, taking command. What? You? My old colleague Raven, I presume. Damn it. How came? B3 Peter. It's got a nice ring to it. This isn't right. I can still...
High mobility LC destroyed. Looks like we're clear.
Augmented human C4621. Raven. Well done. All Mind hereby guarantees your protection. Invoking All Mind Administrator access. Erasing all records of the subject in custody. Augmented human C4621. Raven. Your safety is now guaranteed.
Main system activating combat mode.
Let's get started, Raven. Aster Crown's pilot, callsign King, has an 89.6% mission success rate. His reputation for finesse is such that he's advertised as the ideal mercenary. Umbrox is piloted by Chartreuse, an aggressive bulldozer with unrivaled firepower. Those who've seen her at work call her unstoppable force. Intercept the 2 targets.
There's our merc. Go take care of the objective, King. I'll clip this one's wings.
Not alone. This is a branch mission. I'll support you.
This isn't right. You're just a Gen 4. You belong in a museum, not PC. You don't know when to quit. Just like all the other Ravens.
This pilot's no Raven. Don't let the call sign mislead you. Why won't you die? Chartreuse, withdraw! Abandon your AC!
AC Umbrox destroyed.
AP at 50%. AP at 30%.
Wait, I'm picking up another AC.
Augmented human, C4621. We're not here to take back the Raven name. Thank you, King. We've lost both of them.
1 AC left, Raven.
1 repair kit remaining.
A Raven is a symbol of resolve. The will to choose what one fights for.
Stay focused, Raven.
Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
Yes, Raven. I feel it too. This mercenary has potential. Raven, we can still... All right. We'll watch this one. See where they go on a Raven's wings.
All enemy ACs destroyed. Mission accomplished.